So let's get set up here a little bit. Make sure again you have some water nearby, and I'm just going to change my background a little bit here so we can get into our position for breathing. There we go. Welcome to my office here. Okay, actually, it doesn't really matter, I guess. I have a different one I like sometimes. So you can do all these seated or standing. I'm going to start standing, but I'll move it around. And all I'm going to say that when you do these exercises, my posture is about the same. If I'm standing, I have my feet just a little wider than my shoulders. Okay, so I'm not getting too far out there. I want to keep it somewhere where I can shift my weight easily, but I don't want to be able to, have to really work. And I don't want my feet too close together, which is what I often see. That puts people at risk of falling. It makes your balance a little bit more insecure. And so if I have my feet this wide, when I'm seated, it's the same thing. My knees are open a little bit. Let's make the back just a little bit. It's a slightly smaller studio today. So just so that they're not like this and you're not working real hard, I want it to be nice and open and easy like that. So I'll leave it there for now. I'm going to start standing, and then we'll go back and forth as we move along here a little bit, okay? So I got somebody right here on. I always begin with what I call the lengthening breath, and that means that we're going to be going back and down with our stomach. So if you're in a class and you're doing yoga or Tai Chi, your stomach's probably coming out and then it relaxes. That's a regular belly breath or a diaphragmatic breath. We're going to do the opposite. We're going to have our stomach going back and down as you get longer and taller while you inhale. And this is really a gambit to simply make ourselves more upright, taller, and we'll be engaging these muscles here, which should help with posture, particularly because we end up loading a lot of times. We end up getting a little bit forward leaning, and that ends up adding a lot of load here, and you hear people with Parkinson's complaining about back pain. So let's go ahead and we'll start. We'll put our thumbs on our bottom ribs and put your fingers on your belly, and you're going to inhale as your stomach goes back and down. Ready? There we go. Try it again. See what I'm doing with the hands? I'm opening them up there, and that's just to increase the range of motion, the stretch I have here in the ribs. A lot of times, if your Parkinson's starts on one side, then the ribs in this area also get a little bit constricted, dystonic, rigid, and you want to see if we can open that up a little bit. It'll help your breathing. Let's try one more time here. This time we'll start with our fists nice and tight in the middle here. We'll just open up. Always come back to a nice tight position here in the middle here. Looks good. Okay, I'm going to show something kind of new today. I'm going to tell you right now that you don't need this piece of equipment, but I happen to be in a studio where I can hook stuff up like this. So what I want people to do is I want you to visualize the exercise, and then as you get these link later on, if you happen to have a set of bands, you can try this. I wouldn't necessarily buy it. You don't really need it, but I like the idea of adding a little bit of resistance. And so I'll do this with a little bit of resistance here. Let me just get this. And I'm gonna mute everybody again. I'm sorry. There we go. Okay, it's not working here. Give me a second, folks. Here we go. There we go. Sorry. Looking back here. Okay, so with the resistance that you would have with this, it's a super light band. Actually, the red's a little heavier than I would normally do it, but basically all we're going to do is we're going to have our hands here. We're just going to use that same lengthening breath, so we're getting longer and taller, like that. Okay, so it's the same mechanism. Just be afraid to do that. Okay. Excuse me for a second, folks. I don't know why the muting isn't happening, but let me turn this off for a second. For some reason, it's not taking, and I'm hearing too much noise. Yes, there it is. Got it. Okay, now we got it. So with this extra bit of resistance, you would feel this. But again, you don't need to have this with you. You can just feel like it. I want you to visualize, basically, that you would have this band here. and you're pushing straight here like that. Okay, so let's try a couple of those without the bands, and then I'll do it with the bands just so you can get the feeling. Okay, lengthening breath, wrapping this up, knitting it all the way down. And if you do happen to have these, you want to try them when you're at home, when you get the video later this week. Same thing. You don't see me grab it. I'm not holding anything tight. I just got my hands in this little position, put them together, and I'm just, that way I can get that resistance. Okay, let's try maybe 3 without me talking now. Ready? Good. Now, the next variation of that, and again, you'll be able to do this without the band. You would just have them by side. You just go like that. Okay, so we're going to do the same inhale, lengthening breath. And if you're without the bands, you would just have your hands here, like that. I'm debating whether I want them in tight fists. I don't think I do. I think you want to have them just, you can roll up here and bring those shoulder blades together. So why am I doing this? Why do I care? Sometimes it's because you can, but really what I want here is I just want more resistance. I want a way to add a little bit of load. And the way you would do that on the one hand would be to just have this here, very light loads. You wouldn't want to use heavy weights because you're not trying to really make these too much stronger. You're just trying to provide a little pushback. The other way you would get the load would be to do it when you're exhaling. And they actually have devices where you can breathe out through something. But we're just going to breathe out through pursed lips. So we'll do it like this. We'll inhale. Try it again. Again, without the band. And again. Okay, again, I don't want to make this into an equipment kind of class, but if you have that around, that's cool. If not, you can visualize it and just do it without. And frankly, I would encourage you to do that first because you want to get the sensation. You want to strengthen the areas up before you start adding resistance. Okay, so now I'm going to move into another section here, guys. I'm going to get rid of this, and we'll do some more breath work. But let me just pull up a better background for this. I got one with a nice clock face. I think that will help us with. There we go. So what this will let us do is be able to calibrate where we are. Actually, I'm going to sit for this one. It seems like it's better set up for a seated position here. So you can stay standing. You're just using these numbers here to give you a reference point. And the only one you can't see is right here, right where the pole is here. So that's part of my stool. Don't worry about it. So let's try open and close. That means your hands are all the way open here when they're all the way out, and then you come into nice tight fists here in the middle. Then you put one arm up, and maybe this is like 11 and 5. It doesn't have to be perfect, just a way to stretch. You know, sometimes I was thinking about this the other day when I was playing. Maybe we'll just go up to 11 first. Here's your 11. Oh, nope. Yes, I gotta do it. So here's your 11. Here's your 5. Now let's try it. Oh, almost perfect. A little bit of practice. Let's try that again. Same lengthening breath. Inhale, exhale with some pursed lips. Very good. Other way now. 2 and 8. So let's try going up to 2, down to 8, and now we'll try it here. Get ready? Not quite as perfect, but we're working on it. It's okay. This is not about precision, you know, Swiss watch precision. This is really about, can I get my arms to move in different positions? Matter of fact, maybe we'll play with it that way for a minute too now. Let's go to 2 and 4, okay? And then you're like, well, how are you going to do 2 and 4? Well, here's 2, right? To get the 4, you're going to have to cross over with it. It's going to do that. So let's do inhale, and then you're going to come over like this. You see how I'm rotating in my chair too? I'm not just turning my back and hurting myself like that. Let's try 2 and 4 again. Now let's do 8 and 10, which is on the other side. So you inhale, It's a little bit of a cognitive challenge, but that's why I like it. Good, good. Now let's try like 1 and 7, okay? So here's your 1, here's your 7. Here we go. Ready? And again. Now 11 and 5. Very good. Beg your pardon, I see someone who's joining us now. Very good. Now, let's start right down at the bottom, like I got something heavy down here. If you had a band, you could try that. But again, I wouldn't go setting anything up for today, but you could pretend like you got something heavy and you're just gonna lift it up over your head. See, even if I had a band, I'd be afraid of snapping it in my face for that one. I probably wouldn't do that. I'd probably let that one sit. I would get a weight. I would use my water bottle or something like that, just to give me a little bit of, I'm not looking for a lot of weight. I'm looking for something to give me enough weight to engage the muscles to increase my awareness of it. There we go. This water bottle either needs to be bigger or I need to fill it with lead, but it's not quite enough, but it's enough to get me started. So I'll play with that a little bit. Okay, and then the last thing I want to do while we're sitting here is I want to play with the directions of the breath. So we start usually inhaling as we open and then exhaling as we close. Let's do 2 of those just so we can get that sensation back in our head. Nice and upright, lengthening breath, stomach goes back. Then opens, good. Now, inhale here. Exhale. Inhale as we come back in. Yes, this feels weird. I agree. Exhale again. It's the opposite of what you think you should be doing. Good. We're trying to just put a couple variations. Anytime you vary something, you have to pay attention to it, and that's what we're trying to do. Very good. Okay, I'm going to stop with those for now. There's probably some other variations we can do with it. If you're practicing at home, you can make your own. It's not like, oh, you have to do 2 and 4, and then 10 and 2, and then 8 and 4. It's like you can do whatever works, but the idea is really using these cues as a way of getting range of motion and trying to open things up. So let me move on. We're going to do some voice work now. If you haven't taken a sip of water yet, it's probably your time. I probably should have like a speech therapy drinking game, which is like every time I say this, we all take a sip of water, but we should be hydrating. Now we're going to be doing some of the voice work, and I would love to hear people a little bit. So if anybody wants to turn their mics back on, I'm happy to hear it now, especially because I think we've got enough people through the door. We're probably not going to run into people coming in late. Although I may have just jinxed us, so I don't know. Okay, here we go. So when we do the voice stuff, we're going to warm up with humming. We're going to do the easy stuff first. Of course, it's not really going to be easy. We're going to be working, but no tension. And then we'll do some glides, and then we'll do some power work. And so we'll start right down the line here, guys. With the humming, I want you to be sure that you're using a nice column of air and it's clean. If I was doing this with my mouth open, it would be a loud ah. It would be hum, right? So it would be absolutely the same amount of sound, same amount of effort, just no tension, because it's really impossible to get tension when you're humming. So we're going to go in through our nose. We're going to do the hum. Ready? Hum. Good. If you run out of air, if you're getting tight or whatever, stop, take a breath. It's not a competition. Just jump back in with us, okay? What I don't want you to do is like, oh, I'm almost done. They look like they're about done. I'm just going to squeeze the last little bit out here. Don't do that. Just it should be clean. It should be easy, but it should be loud. Let's try one more time. Ready? Hum. Good. Okay, now for the next one, guys, we're just going to part our lips a little bit. So, and it makes the vibration. I mean, this is still vibrating, but this adds a second vibration source. And you're just going to, it looks like I'm playing a flute. You know, like I'm going to, and we'll do the same sound. So we're going to take a big breath, and we're going to hold it for as long as we can. Here we go. Ready? Hold. That's good. Now, when you're trying to do that, everyone can find their own pitch. I'm not worried about whether you match my note there, but I do want you to kind of match my tone. When my tone is ho, so it's forward. All the buzziness is forward. So I hear somebody back there going, and then you're doing it down here, and I don't want that. I want ho. So see if you can move the vibration forward a little bit. Let's try it together one more time. Parted lips. Ho. Okay, great. Now we'll take that sound and we're going to make it a little bigger. And by rounding your lips, it looks like I'm whistling, but I'm actually just making it very rounded. And you'll get even more buzziness. And if you had that sound, that it's what we're going to use for the glides, but you can hear it sounds like a siren because I'm putting all the vibration forward. So we're going to do that last one. That's this one right here with rounded lips. We'll do a couple repetitions of that. I can't hold that one as long because I'm using a lot more air. I'm leaking a lot more air because the hole's bigger. So don't worry about it if it doesn't last as long, but I want to hold. I want a good sound. Okay, let's try it again. In through your nose. Good, good. Okay, good. Now we're going to take that sound now, sound, and we're going to move it to a glide. And a glide is when you go from a low note to a high note, or the other way around, high note to low note. And if you've done LSVT or Speak Out, you've probably done a glide where you've gone ah like that, and you've gone from a low note to a high note on the word ah. We're going to use a different set here. We're going to use something called whoop and boo. And the reason why I like whoop is with that buzziness, I can really make it. I can get way up high, and I can keep that buzziness all the way through. So we're going to try a couple of them together. We're using the word whoop from low to high, and I add movements here. I take a breath in, and then we go up with the sound when we bring our hands like this. So why don't we all do it together, and we'll try a couple. Ready? Good, yeah. That P at the top, it's a nice, it caps it very well. So let's try it again. Ready? Good, good. Let's try one more. I think we about got it here, guys. Ready? Good. So now we'll go the other direction. We're going to start high. We're going to go low. And the word is boo. And the key with this is that when you get lower, ooh, you'll see me open up a little bit. Ooh, ah, and that's just to keep the tension out. So we're just trying to keep it nice and open. Here we go. We're going to enter. Oh, and the movement is you take a breath on the way up, and then we say ooh, like that all the way down. Here we go. Ready? That sounded really good. Yeah. Yes. And at the end there, the air was running out, but I like the way you stopped because you don't squeeze it out. We're not squeezing the water out of the hose to water the flowers. We're just pushing air through here, and when we're out of air, we're just done. So that was great. That was very nicely done. Let's try it again in through your nose. Very good. Let's do one more like that because I said someone's killing it. I don't know who it is. I can't quite see your mic, but that doesn't matter. Very nicely done. Here we go. Ready? Good. Yeah, that ha. It's a big sound, but I'm not working very hard. I know I want people to be loud. I think loud is absolutely the correct direction, and speak out is absolutely the correct direction. I want all that loudness without a ton of extra effort. I don't want anyone to feel like they're shouting or fighting their way through it. I want you to use a lot of air and correctly control that air, and you should be able to be loud without having to kill yourself, without having to fight. Now, if you're a little weak, you might need to fight in the beginning, but it'll eventually get strong enough that you don't have to worry about that. Okay, moving along. Someone have a question? No. Okay, I'm going to grab another slide here. This should be a great chance every time this is a drinking game. I figured it out. Every time I'm changing a slide, it's probably a good time to get a drink of water. Okay, so let me switch to a different background. I will too. Okay, so for this exercise, what's going to happen is I have my hands as a cue. So your hands tell you where you are, how loud you are, how big the sound is. So when I'm here, I'm full Pavarotti. When I'm here, I'm probably the way I would normally talk. Now I'm getting pretty quiet. And so my right hand on top is the ah sound. My left hand on top is the O sound. And side by side is the E. And my only caveat with the E sound is I want it to be really nasal. That's one where you can really drive it too hard. I don't want that. I want to, you're going to sound like a telephone operator from the 40s. I mean, that kind of E, okay? So that we keep it nice and clean. So here we go. Follow along with me. Debating whether I'm going to sit, but I think I won't. Okay, here we go. Ready? Make it really nasal. So if you're running out of air at any point there, it's just your cue to stop, take another breath. So don't feel like, oh, they're still moving, keep going with them. Don't. Take your time. Use your own pace. Don't work it so hard that you hurt your voice. Let's try it again together. We're going to try some dynamics. We'll get a bit louder, and then I'll add some movement where we're moving from one side to the other. Okay, here we go. Ready? Let's try this to E by itself and then make it nice and nasal. So we go me, 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 ma, me, ma, me, Good. So using that sound, we're going to go to the last part here, guys. We're going to count out loud. I have a graphic behind me where I'm actually going to have the different numbers. We're going to count from like 1 to 10 and back down to 0, and then 2 to 20 and back down to 0. But the twist this week is that some numbers are missing, so you're going to have to do it in your head. Okay, so follow along with me. Every time a new set of numbers comes up, we're going to take a nice breath, and we're going to do it all in one breath. All right, sorry. Been changing slides, so technically we should all be drinking, but maybe I'll let it go for now. Let's see. Okay, ready? Here we go. Nice big breath. Here we go. In through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That was the easy one. Now get ready. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 30, 27, 24, 21, 18, 15, 12, 9, 6, 3, 0. Yeah, I was cheating too. That's why I put them there like that, guys. It's okay. Okay, next one. You get a big breath. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, 0. I was almost out of breath on that one. Okay, get ready for the next one, folks. Here we go. Woo, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80, 90, 81, 72, 63, 54, 45, 36, 27, 18, 9, 0. I made it too hard for myself. Okay, last one. Ready? 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90, 40, 36, 32, 28, 24, 20, 16, 12, 8, 4, 0. Okay, and again, it's just repeating. Now, you don't have to do it again. That's the beginning part of it. This is something you can do. I mean, you can certainly look at the graphics, but you could do this anytime with any set of numbers. I just like to do it in sets where it goes 10 on one side, 10 on another, so I can use it to count when I'm doing some kind of physical exercise. But taking some of the extra helper digits out of it makes it a little bit more challenging. That's the only reason why I did that. So, folks, I'm going to stop it for here now. I want to ask a little bit about... I'm going to change my background again. Ask a little bit about if I can help anybody with apps. Is that something that anybody needs to work with, or text stuff in the background? Because I'm not sure how it could be more helpful, but I'd like to make that work if we can do it. Anybody have any thoughts about that?
John, could you send us the list of apps again, please?
Sure. I'll send it in a follow-up email with a link for each of the ones along with the video. Is that okay?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Surely. Yeah.
And
again,
maybe explain how to use those apps.
Yes, I think that's really what we're going to have to do. Is I have to show you how to configure it a little bit, and then I'm playing with this here because I had it. I could use it this way. We could play with it that way too, but I think that means people are going to have to get something set up here. Maybe you could hold it. We'll figure it out. But okay, I'll have a little bit about that. But I think again, if you need to set it up and configure it, I think you're going to need to we need to do it in real time. Sitting here because sometimes it'll be a little like
explain it for each type of app.
Yes.
One I have has a dB meter on it.
You have the NIOSH one that came from the yeah. So I can show you that one as well. Both of those are fairly easy. I don't have an Android phone, but I can figure it out. I used to back in the day. Okay, so yes, very good. Then I'll send the links for all three of those. I'll send the link for this video. I'd encourage you to practice. And if you have the capacity to do something with the band, great, but you can do everything we did today just by visualizing it. And actually visualizing it's very powerful sometimes. Anybody else have any questions?
Well, thanks, John.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great week. I'll see you next time, okay?
God bless you.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
John.
See ya.
See you. Take care, David.
Okay, you too.